So there's been a lot of talk about Funko 3D printing Funko Pops to try to get them out a little bit quicker, and we're going to talk about whether that's a good or bad thing. Hey everyone, welcome back to a new video. I do hope you're enjoying your day today. So today's topic is 3D printed Funko Pops. So recently over on the Unarticulated podcast, a podcast by a bunch of different Funko YouTubers and content creators and all that, they actually talked about the new WWE and Garbage Pail Kids collab over at Fanatics Fest recently. This included a John Cena and Rhea Ripley Funko Pop in the Garbage Pail Kids style, limited to 250 pieces. And I found this pretty interesting because I do feel like it raises a couple different concerns in a few different areas. Now, if you caught my video the other day, I went over Funko's entire earnings call, and they actually highlighted this whole Hyper Strike moment in that earnings call. So this is what they had to say. At Fanatics Fest, our first Hyper Strike and ultra limited WWE x Garbage Pail Kids collaboration sold out almost immediately. The launch demonstrated our ability to respond to a timely cultural collision, activate multiple collector communities, and test demand with limited inventory exposure. Our work with HP is creating a more flexible, short-run production model designed to shorten the distance between a cultural moment and product in a fan's hands. Now, the big question up in the air right now is, are these figures actually 3D printed? Now, technically, Funko hasn't officially come out and confirmed this. They didn't do like a full-scale announcement about this, saying what these new products are. They just said they were Hyper Strike moments. But here's a picture of Tristan's figure from their podcast here, and you can kind of see that it definitely doesn't look like your standard Funko Pop, obviously. You know, the box is different, it has open windows on different sides, and it just looks like a different Funko Pop box altogether. And then you get to the figure itself, and obviously it's in that Garbage Pail Kid design, so, you know, it's gonna look different, it's gonna look in that style of figure because they look pretty wacky. Tristan was actually mentioning that it does feel quality, though, even though maybe like color-wise or whatever, it might look a little like different and lower quality, the figure itself feels a little bit heavier and more quality is what he was stating. Now, obviously I don't have the figure in hand, so I can't really confirm quality-wise and weight-wise on how it would feel in particular. Just looking at the photo of it, you can definitely tell that it's lower quality compared to a Funko Pop. Now again, guys, this whole idea here and possibly 3D printing Funko Pops, if that's what this is all around a Hyper Strike. And like they said, they want to strike while that item is hot or while that fandom is wanting to buy something, which makes a lot of sense. I've been telling Funko that they need to do this for years. They need to jump on more trending stuff and things that are popular and not make them 1-2 years later. And since the new CEO, Josh Simon, has been here, he's actually been doing a really good job with that. He's been jumping on a lot of different like pop culture moments that, you know, are obviously making Funko a lot of money. And I guess this was one of those things. Again, it raises some quality concerns for sure, because, you know, that just means they could 3D print anything just to pump it out, just to make money. And I feel like with Funko as a company, where they have a particular style to their whole like collectible community and all that, I just really feel like it degrades it a little bit because they're just gonna try to pump these out as much as possible to make money. And yes, I know, it's a company's job to make money. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying when you're blatantly making it obvious that you just want money, it turns off like the hardcore fans that really love your company. Now, the quality thing isn't the only issue that I have with this. It's also the price point for these, which is a little crazy, I won't lie. So again, these were limited to 250 pieces each, and they were kind of just dropped at the event. There was no announcement. Fans just kind of stumbled on these. So can you take a guess as to how much these were if you just don't know off the top of your head or you haven't seen the prices? These were $200 retail, which is just wow. So I'm going to tell you exactly why they were $200. I'm going to tell you exactly how this works, essentially, based off what I was told by some companies who did get limited edition pops and the pricing and all that. So originally, you saw this little pricing chart here that Funko put out like last year, I think it was, or a year and a half ago or whatever. But anyways, it says basically in this range, a pop that is around 100 pieces to 499 pieces, so these would be considered mythics under this program, if they are a part of this program, they would be $60. Assuming that this pricing is accurate, the only thing you could argue is that it says fan rewards over there, so I don't know if this only ties to the Funko shop and then the select retail partner price, you know, ties to them down there. So I don't know if this is like law by Funko. Well, obviously it's not law, but you get what I'm trying to say there. So basically we have this as a guide as to what these LE pieces are supposed to be. However, over at Fanatics Fest, they have these in hand and they're selling them retail for $200. Now, this is basically what happens here, is that Funko sells these limited pieces at a higher price than they normally would with wholesale. So let's say most Funko Pops are $15, and then all these companies, Walmart, say Chalice Collectibles, Target, or some other like, you know, smaller shops and bigger shops, all these different retailers, they'll get them in maybe at like $8 per pop. So let's say we got a brand new Naruto pop. They order 10,000 of them and they pay $8 per pop, but they're selling them for $15 per pop. So you obviously got to account for labor cost, shipping cost, and, you know, taxes, fees, and all that into what you're actually going to make in your actual profit. Now, my overall point here is that this is a little bit of a mix of both, of these retailers who get these 250 pieces or 1,000 pieces, 5,000 pieces, whatever. They're definitely upcharging more than they should be. All at the same time, though, is that it's very possible that Funko is charging more to the retailer because these limited pieces like these cost more to make because they're not printing them in, you know, excess. Now, again, that is usually the case with different limited edition pieces. Now, thinking about it more though, I don't know if that ties into these, if these are 3D printed and Funko kind of did this in-house. Were the costs less, or did they cost a certain amount to make even at those 250 pieces to where Funko still charged a higher price? Whether it's selling for $300, $400, $500 after the fact, it's still pretty insane. And mostly resellers, Funko, and Fanatics benefit from this. That's about it, unless you're one of the lucky fans to be able to get these. And I heard there were no limits on these at the event, apparently, so maybe that's why they sold out a little bit faster. At the end of the day, with these higher prices, it's just really like Fanatics and Funko wanting a bigger cut into that, and they've actually mentioned that in their earnings call before, where they want to, you know, kind of get a cut into the eBay sales. They're like, oh, well, they're selling really high, so we kind of want to try to cut into that a little bit as much as we can. So that's basically what that is with a lot of these limited edition pieces at some of the events. You know, when it's a lower print run and if they charge normal retail for these, there's just not a lot of money in it. And they most likely just end up at a breaking even point or losing money. So they obviously have to raise that price, but I don't think they needed to put it at $200 to make money. This seems really excessive. Overall, guys, I definitely see the pros to this. Obviously, they can print out things much faster this way. They can get anything at any point for any event. And it's like an unlimited money glitch, obviously. This sold out so quickly at that $200 mark. That means they're just going to do it again. I just don't really know how much of a hard opinion I can put on the figure themselves rather than the idea of it, just because I haven't seen them in person. I haven't held them. So it's different when you get an opinion like up close like that. So at any point, if I do get to see one of these in person or, you know, get to hold them out of box, maybe my opinion might change a little bit on quality stance, but like looking at them face value, I can definitely tell that they look a little bit cheaper than your typical Funko Pop. So I don't know, guys, that's pretty much all I have to say on that. I think it's good for a company as a way to make quick money and jump on popular moments very fast. All at the same time, I think it kind of degrades the quality of the company a little bit. And it kind of runs into the issue where some of these pieces are just pricing out fans at $200. Like, it's such a tough conversation with that, because I understand they're trying to bring limited edition pieces to the hobby, but then pricing out fans sucks too. So I just don't really know where there is a middle ground there, if that makes sense. I can't see any other major problems with this, I guess, other than people just maybe finding them lower quality than your typical Funko Pops, like genuinely. And then obviously Funko being a little money hungry with these. I don't know. It's interesting. Let me know what you guys think about these potentially 3D printed Funko Pops. Like I said, I'm saying potentially because I don't know. Like, I don't know if Funko has anywhere come out and said that these are 3D printed. I didn't see anywhere in an article. I mean, everybody's calling them 3D printed Funko Pops. They look 3D printed, so I'm assuming they are, but you know, we'll see in the future. Nonetheless, let me know your thoughts and opinions on this. Are you for these? Are you against these? Let me know in the comments. Anyways, though, thank you so much for watching today's video. Make sure to hit the like button down below if you did enjoy, and subscribe and click that notification bell if you're new here. I do want to say a big shout out to all the awesome Patreon supporters of the channel. You guys are amazing for supporting myself and the channel. If you guys are interested and want to check out the Patreon, the link is down below. We have a Patreon link Discord where we share a lot of information, news, restocks, updates, links, and more. And finally, make sure you follow me on all my social medias at Skittlerampage over on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and my Facebook page, so you can stay up to date. All right, love you guys. See you guys in the next one. See you guys later. Bye.